can't figure out what I'm doing with my with my software now. I didn't do any like deploys or anything like that, but I seem to be in some sort of Firebase. Share my screen real fast. So I'm trying to the Firebase logout. So I know I'm not logged in. I'm just trying to do an npm start, and I'm getting these errors. And it's like it's somehow repopulating what I've entered before or something like that.
All right, so look at your, first off, look at your package.json.
Get out of my way.
Okay, so that looks fine.
I like it. Yes.
Nothing weird there. I mean, it's not. First thing is, did you blow up your package.json? But no.
That was kind of my guess, but yeah, it's not.
So I have this recording, so Max can watch it later to talk about things that you might want to. This should probably be identified as a task for the two of you to work either after the meeting or.
Yeah, we can come back later.
Okay.
Since it wasn't a 60-second fix. Okay, why did it do that? I got a blank spot on your screen that you can see. My screen's not even being shared yet. Screen. Oh, yeah, I just have to click it. Okay. So today's meeting. Oh, this one's going to be Wednesday. That's 28. Okay.
Oh, I'm interested in that one. What's County of San Diego Environmental Health and Facilities Office backing checklist?
That's on tomorrow's agenda. It's just another checklist we found that could make a good sample and trial case. Max
but it's not a business opportunity.
It's not a business opportunity.
Okay,
well,
good.
It could be, but we would be creating it rather than responding to it.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure it wasn't an RFP.
No. Any announcements? Okay. I guess on that thing, I haven't had a chance. I did some looking for comment type systems. I feel that the action's really kicking up. Our level of activity is kicking up on GapCross here. And I can see going after that comment bid as somewhat disruptive to the GapCross pace. And as far as like having Cheryl get in and sign up for all these other states, mm-hmm. I can see that as being even more disruptive. So I'm not thinking we sign up for these, as a priority task, but something we do throughout January.
Yeah, I think we want to do it sooner than later.
True.
And I think that someone can be looking at these without them being disruptive. I mean, if Cheryl's looking at them, that's not disturbing Max or I.
Right. But if there's something exciting, do we keep it to ourselves or do we bring it up? And if we do, a lot of that stuff's going to be WebRabbit too. So anyhow, just my thoughts on that. Okay. Rollout focus. I started by saying here's just some stuff that highlights of what we talked about in the video yesterday. Clay, you've already gone in and read that, and Mitch, I think, has read it. So I don't think there's any discussion here, with maybe the exception of a new comment in here.
All right, so I got a question on this note. Ed, you said ideally the program should not require any external tutorial or user manual. I would agree with that, but I think what Clay is saying is we need almost a tutorial documentation, not so much how to use, not so much.
Well, my thing is like in the Excel pivot table, I agree. You're not gonna be able to just go use an Excel pivot table without reading a manual.
I agree.
And the point I'm trying to make, the biggest point there's 2 points I really want to make. One point is to roll this out commercially. I think we need to spend time developing videos, video tutorials. And I think that the help system should be outside of the program. I think that the modern applications use tutorials.
Yeah.
1990s .NET applications had, first we started with documentation. Then we moved to help files. Then we moved to help files linked to the application. And now the standard, I would argue, is outside of the application and in video tutorials. And that's the most effective and common approach.
Here's my question.
Having said that, I am not arguing against the program being intuitive. But if we think that we can avoid
No,
but
that's
we
not
need to
it.
have a week or two, maybe 2 weeks of producing tutorials, and we cannot just magically say that work is going to go away.
No, it's the intuitive word that really captures it. So we're in agreement.
Yeah, I don't think we're not in agreement. I just wanted to
Yeah,
Clarify.
yeah, it's just language and stuff getting in the way. And when I came across that word this morning too, when I was writing stuff or thinking stuff. And the word intuitive is what, we were using the word like clumsy yesterday.
Mhm.
That wasn't the good word. Intuitive is the word that should have been used yesterday. Okay.
So I got a question for like the tutorial videos. What type of tutorial? Give me an example of what would be in a tutorial video. I imagine it's not how to insert a question. I imagine it's something different.
I would say that there should be. I think there should be tutorials for the things that should be intuitive. Even though they are intuitive, I still think you want a tutorial for basic operation. I think the more valuable tutorials will be, this is how you do a gap analysis. Okay, this is how I do process improvement. This is how, this is how I can do, use the expression editor effectively to make effective assessments. This is how I can do partial credit and quizzes. So I think the more advanced stuff has more value. But for completeness, I would argue that you want a simple.
Yep, go over everything just because we're there. Yep. I wonder if that would be beneficial to Ed, Max, and I making one of these tutorials, even just writing up in Google Docs real fast, just in text.
Well, I've been thinking. I was thinking of, would it be useful for me to make a video just for you guys?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you did it yourselves, there might be value in that too.
I kind of feel like there's a part that we're not completely understanding of the bigger picture. So
I think it's coming together though more and more, Mitch. And some of the stuff you showed me this morning online that we're going to talk about tomorrow. I think this is going to fall in place in the next few days better.
if what we're saying is in line with what Clay's saying, though, which is what I'm saying, if Clay made a tutorial, then we'd be able to see his side of it better.
Today we either assign a task for Clay to do that, or we say it's going to come up anyhow in the future. I think it's going to come up anyhow. It's unavoidable.
Yep, I agree.
Yes,
So
I think it's unavoidable. I would argue that I would like to knock out some of the bigger.
The stuff running. Yeah, I agree. So then from the video from yesterday and creating some tasks, we got these steps. One, we identified that yesterday was about identifying tasks, throwing out the stuff that was already done or did not apply. We were not triaging them for priority. Then we decided we'll deploy daily. You got the revision number stuff in. For the most part, with Epics for the major releases. We're going to start all new bugs, features, and improvements. We'll include the version number. That is in Jira now already. So if you go in here and do a create, down at the bottom is the version number. And when we get to 1.0.002, You can type it in there, but I think you need to click the new version to have that come up.
This is going to be changing almost daily, though, right? It's whenever
Yes.
we deploy, we change version number.
Yes.
Okay, so hold on. Walk me through how you use Jira with it. So if I'm going to, let's say we have a bug that needs fixed, I would not be creating it with the version number. Once the bug is fixed, we put the version number on it.
No, this is the bug is in this version. So what you do
Okay.
is
Well,
you're on Gap Cross.
yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Why am I not signed into this?
So right now we should create a new Jira task that's the running bug list for 001, and we should move all bugs over to that version. So I should close Gap 23. I would suggest that right now I close Gap 23 and I enter the remaining bugs that are still open in Gap 23 into a new issue that affects version 001.
Yeah.
And
I
then
can do that.
rolling forward, makes it just it's clean.
What's our
Okay, so
effects
let's-
version?
So let's think about that for a minute. Let's say we are in this deploy everyday mode, and you don't get all the bugs fixed in the deploy that we found during 001. Then do you take and remove the ones that didn't get fixed and move them to
No.
2?
You just keep the task open. The task just remains open till all the bugs are fixed. And there should only be one bug in it, I'd imagine. Maybe not at the beginning, but
Right. And what I'm suggesting is a one time. So we have the issue would be called bugs identified in 1001, and then or before, and then that will affect 001. Then when we go into 002, we'll have that issue. So 002 and 001 can be open at the same time. Or alternatively, I could go to Gap 23 and just put the effects version in and put 001 in there. Don't care.
That's what I'm thinking is going to work better. There's complications that come when you start doing 2 or 3 or 4 different thoughts in one task. It's like sending somebody an email with 3 different questions in it. They fire back one question, one answer. The other 2 are going to take them some research, and it sort of gets lost in it.
The other thing is I don't think we deploy daily. I think we deploy when it makes sense. If that's daily, it's daily.
Yeah.
But there's no sense to deploy
just to do it daily. I agree.
just to do it daily. And the biggest time there is merging. If is not with deploying, it's with merging. Now, so far, merging hasn't been an issue because we've all been in very different. I've yet to see a conflict with merging.
Yeah, I've had very, very minor conflicts.
Okay, I've added that. Save. I wasn't sure whether I'm looking for a save button or not looking for a save button. And Jira does both. Okay, so here on our new issues list, we can see if it's in an epic. You can see the status when it was created and what version was being used when the feature, improvement, or bug was thought of or found.
Yeah, but all of those things actually were before 001.
But it still does affect that version, though. Even though it was before. I think we need to start somewhere.
Oh, you know what? I did. I did have the December 24th version. I called it Christmas Eve 2016 version.
But the thing is that a
And this
lot of these
morning I wiped
bugs,
that out.
we're gonna have bugs that started in 001 that are not gonna get caught till version 20 or something like that. We'd still put version 20 down, I'd imagine. I mean, there's
Right,
bugs in here that we're not
okay.
gonna catch.
Okay, so just let's be clear about this. When you enter a bug, it's you are declaring the version number you are currently using.
To view the bug. Yep.
But if you enter the bug, when you
Yeah.
enter the bug, it's against the version number.
Yeah, or if it's in even a feature you thought of, it's still, I was using this version at the point where I thought of the feature.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I would argue then is that if you think you fixed a bug in version 1 and it's still open, then it goes into the new version. It's a new bug.
If you think you've fixed it, yes. Yes. If there's been no
Okay.
work on it,
Yeah, I can see that.
it just holds that original one
Yes.
that it had.
Right. Right. If you did not do work on it, but in those occasions where you think you have fixed a bug, done work, posted it, and it ends up still open, I would argue we should enter it as a new bug.
Yeah.
I
Now
agree.
the ones that drive us, you know, we got to get this list burnt down before we deploy, is going to be the Epic.
I got a question. So let's say there's a bug that we tried to fix, we did not fix it. Instead of recreating it, can we just adjust the effects version number? As long as the details are the same? Just to save some time? Or do we need that history of multiple bugs? I don't feel like we're going to need to go back to them.
Well, if you do recreate it, it should point to the previous one.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
suggesting we don't recreate.
I mean, from a programming perspective, you thought you fixed it, so the conditions are changed. You don't have the same conditions starting out to fix the bug that you had when you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you don't. You want to read the conditions as they were when that bug was found. So I would copy and paste and create a new bug and then relate it back to the old bug.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
And hopefully that won't happen very often. I mean, that should be rare.
Yeah, it should be rare.
Now, if we were a larger shop doing these daily deploys, or say we got into a weekly deployment, we'd have a project person that is, you know, following up with people the day before and saying, you got to get this into test. You got a task that's in there. And they said, there's no way I'm going to get it done. Great. We're putting it into the next week's deployment. You know, and they'd be managing all that stuff. Right now, that's going to, if we try to get to that point,
No,
we're not going to get
agree.
other work done. So,
I agree, but I do believe where we're going to our holy grail is continuous deployment, and there
Yeah.
are tools that do continuous deployment. And if we get to that holy grail, there is nothing before 001. You know, you have the current state and you have the one previous state. Everything else doesn't exist. That makes sense?
I missed a piece of it there. There's nothing before 001.
There's nothing. You have your deploy. Okay, you have your deployed version,
Right?
and you have your new version that you're going to deploy.
Right?
There is nothing before. There is just your deployed version.
Yeah, correct.
So any
Correct.
context.
Because if you were set to fix a bug for the 02 deployment and you don't make it, that's already been put into 03 before that deployment happens because somebody's managing that.
Basically, every deployment cycle is independent of anything that came before it,
Right,
and that's a better way. That's easier to keep your head around it.
right. Yep, and that's where we want to get to.
Okay, but I think this is a huge step. We'll at least be able to know what version it was posted against.
Yeah,
So that if I'm already on version 1003, well, I don't know.
We're in agreement.
Then you need to deploy.
Projects, gap. Let's see, is it the edit? No, I just clicked gap cross. I changed the icon too for this project. Where is it? Versions. And over here is the version number, the date that it went out, and the last commit that's included in it. So as we build this up, we'll have that tracking for whatever it's worth.
This is a manual thing?
Yeah.
Are you taking care of this, or, I mean, if we're...
No, the deployment manager will be updating this every time a deployment
But right now,
is
we're
done.
all deployment managers?
Right now, I will chase after this every time I see Clay pushes something out. When you take this on,
Yeah.
then this would be a step in the deployment.
Okay.
You know, that way you'd make sure everything, you're going to be in charge of making sure that configuration control is there. It went through test sequences, it got deployed, it got communicated to everybody, that
Yeah.
Jira's updated with that, and you would track all that stuff.
So what I don't understand this. Can you go back to that screen?
1 second, this is my screen.
Okay.
So, Ed, does this take care of that at all?
This screen you're on?
Yeah.
That's the same screen I'm on.
Are we you're seeing my Firebase
I'm seeing,
audience view?
oh, I'm seeing my screen, I think.
Yeah, you're looking at your
I
own
see
screen.
Firebase.
Oh, wait, I see.
I
Oh,
mean,
let
looking at your
me
screen.
make this larger. Okay. I was halfway looking between what was being recorded. Go.
okay. Does this solve that Jira thing that you want to do at all? I don't know if it would or not.
I
So
don't,
these are the deployments. I mean, there's no version number with these.
Yeah, there's no version
I
number.
assume that's nothing that we can use.
but
'cause
with
it's
the
just
date and
Firebase.
time, with the date and time, you could go back and see which commits were there.
This is
We'll
all
work on
automatic.
that, Mitch. As we get you the process, what I've created here may get thrown out. We may even be able to make some linkage between things.
Okay, so
So
just
we'll work
just
on that.
on that Firebase screen, Mitch, I deleted everything that says deleted.
Yep. I figured that.
Okay.
So that'll store forever, and you can always roll back forever if we
Yeah,
ever needed to. Okay.
I've never rolled back. So, that's one of the things. Oh, on the status here, unreleased. What does that mean?
Unreleased. Oh.
Quick filters. How do I change that? I saw that earlier too.
Okay, that's not something you put in. That's something. Okay.
I don't know how to change that.
Because to me, that status should be like, it would be released to or it'd say staging, and then it should be only staging or production, because it is
Oh, here,
released.
build and release. Okay, so we got actions, build and release. Okay, so we got a little learning to do here to use this, and it also on these versions, you can see which bugs were put against it, what your rate is of being able to actually get everything out the door that you wanted
But
to.
you can do that. You can do that anyway from the bugs. If you go to bugs and click affect version, you just pull up the version number, right?
Let's not analyze it now.
Yeah, I just
There's
don't.
some
I don't wanna
features
be
here
doing a
we'll
bunch of- I don't
slowly
wanna be
get
doing a
our
bunch
way
of
into.
paperwork that I was going to use. So I need that proved to me before I start doing that.
Yep, that's Mitch. I'm used to that. And that's the good part. We're going to get there, but we'll get a process in place. So we'll get there. Okay, so where are we? We're back on. Where's my stand-up meeting one? Okay. New bugs and features, have the version number. Okay, and then the new task will fit in. And I've created these epics. Gap 1 was our initial release. That's closed. Gap,
Okay.
Yep.
Just one more question going backwards. In your screen, when you showed like gap cross, you showed different like bugs and feature improvement,
Mm-hmm.
and you had both improvement and new feature. What in the heck is the difference between an improvement?
That's why I asked
Same
that
thing.
earlier.
They are the same.
Being able to-
You had a good answer for it. You had a good answer for it.
Being
Right.
being able to add a question, click an add question box is a feature. If we were to move that add question to the bottom of the list of questions from the top, that would be an improvement.
An improvement already exists. It already
You're
exists in
making
place.
something that already exists better.
That has absolutely no value to me.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
The improvement one?
It has. I mean, the
amount of time it takes.
But one is, they're all programming tasks.
So these are just the defaults that Jira throws at you. I just happened to use improvement this morning on one of them. We can say that we won't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just there's no benefit out of it.
I don't have to. If it is useful to other people, fine. It's just at the end of the day, there is, to me, there is a big difference between bug and improvement. There's no improvement and feature request are similar, are identical to me as a programmer. Now, if I'm wearing if you're wearing our, I mean, there would be triage the same. I mean, I don't understand what the distinction is. How is it going to help the decision-making process? That would be my question back to you.
Yeah, I mean the amount of time would be a better thing to have, but we don't.
A bug could cause you weeks of agony. A new feature you might be able to put in 5 minutes, or vice versa.
Right, but a
Improvement
bug,
is a feature, not bug.
right? A bug is different. A bug is a defect.
That needs fixed.
Yeah.
A defect. It doesn't necessarily need to be fixed before a new feature. It just is a defect.
Right.
And a feature or an improvement, either one, are a knowing change to code. Not that the code is defective. You just want to make the code better. They both do that.
Right.
So, and you're going to make the decision based on how much money it's going to make and how little time it's going to take you.
Right.
So, if like Ed, if it helps you, I'm all for doing it.
It doesn't. I'm all for just using task, for everything, bugs and everything. I'm fine with task, but.
Well, I do like the distinction between bug and improvement, because a bug is a defect. A bug is something that you can plan.
So we'll have epics, we'll have bugs, and of the other, a task could be something that doesn't relate to a program.
Yes, I would like to use. I think what we should do with task is it's something that is not programmed. It's like create the tutorial. That has nothing to do with programming. Something that needs to get done.
Set up a bank account,
Yeah, all that stuff. Those are tasks that have to get done.
Right. Now, do you want to not use new feature or improvement? Which one do you want?
I'd leave them for now. You can select the wrong one if we do, but look at the color codes on the side, those green things. You can see the green is the same. Improving a new feature. They're both additions, basically. See it?
I don't care. I just, Jira has them in it.
I think leave it just because they're there. I don't think it's going to cause anybody any problems, even if we get them wrong.
All right.
Okay, so you can use improvement. Which one do you like, though, Clay? And I'm going to just start using that one more. Improvement?
I actually like feature request.
The new feature.
A new feature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Or how's this? I would be okay with having two of them. We could have one be by customer. So if you want to say improvement is internal and new feature is customer requested, that would, to me, would have value.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to see.
We'll keep it in mind and we'll see what comes out. We need to keep this in mind as we look at and triage different tasks and see if there is any value we can find there.
I'm sorry,
One of the
anyway.
fields we may add in the future is this customer driven? You know, and that would be a Boolean type field because those need to have a different priority than the non-customer ones. Okay, so then I created, well, we had GAP 1. GAP 7 I renamed to the minimum viable product for private testing, aka Pia and Tom. Mitch didn't like the Pia and Tom for the PT, so I had to think of something real quick. So he liked private testing. And then we got the public beta version. The biggest difference here is the public beta version needs to have secure code.
Mm-hmm.
We may choose to move items forward to that version just because of a timing thing. Would you agree that the triage decisions we need right now is either it's easy, I can just do it anyhow, or it's required before we can show it to Tom and Pia, with that being the stronger criteria? In other words, is that what we're working towards? Being able to show Tom and Pia or other people that are working with us in this secure environment, be able to show it to folks?
Okay, so let's. I would like to take a step back. So, the product that I really want to show Tom and Pia is the enterprise product, but we're going to show them the pro version instead. In other words, we use Tom and Pia as salespeople. Ultimately, we want to use Tom and Pia as salespeople.
Yeah, so it has to be decent.
Or in the case of Tom, maybe as a customer.
He's good. He has his sales hat on.
Right, but the point is what we're really what we just need to show that we just need to have enough to get them excited.
Yeah.
And we just don't want little nitpicky things to get in their way.
Yep.
Right.
Totally.
That they are, but I would argue they're a different profile than who we're going to release the product to. I don't know. I don't think that Tom and Pia represent the end user for the product that we're going to deploy on the web, the Pro and the Pro version, the two first versions. I think their input would be useful, but I don't think they're going to be the representative user. Make sense?
Yeah. The question I have is the sequence correct? I'm wondering if what you're trying to say is the sequence.
You need more phases. Are you asking we need more phases?
I think it is, but part of the issue that I was having a little bit with Max yesterday is he was, what I was hearing from him is he was really sticking to minimum viable in like the purest sense. And we're not really trying to do minimum viable. We're trying to do minimum useful or minimal something that someone would actually buy. And I don't think he was.
That could be the minimum viable, though. Max might interpret that as minimum viable.
Agreed, and I think that's what I agreed. But we need. I think we needed more than he was arguing for yesterday. There are some features that were not that I didn't think were fluff features. They were they were important features. So to get back to your question,
one of the differences is, I think I mentioned this yesterday, if somebody had came to us and said, can you write me software to do gap analysis or an audit? And we said, sure. Minimum viable would be, we've created a screen that comes up and they can add questions. And we say, how do you like this? And they say, this is pretty good. We say, because tomorrow you're going to be able to do some more things. Now you can add sections and you can add questions. And they would be going in, they'd be looking at it and say, yeah, you guys are making good progress. I like the way you're going. Here's some feedback. Well, we don't have that type of customer. We have to go out and show somebody a product and get them interested enough to come on board. And I think that's where we tend to want to have that larger package all in place.
right?
But we do want to get to that point quickly to where somebody says, I want to use this, I need this added. And then that can start guiding us in that agile mode.
You know, I actually am wondering if the order isn't reversed. You know,
You're saying gap 27 before 7?
yeah. I mean, I think in reality, I mean, I'm almost ready to show Pia. Once there's bugs not blowing the program up, I can walk her through the fact that it's not easy. You know, the fact that it's not that's not as intuitive as we would like.
In that case, the sequence is good because Tom's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We can wave our hands and blow smoke on it all day and shine mirrors on it, and Tom will still see his way through it and go make promises to people that we got this greatest product ever.
But what I'm struggling with right now is just how I've been fixing things right now. It's still more effective for me to, like today I worked on the form, to just go in and knock out all the form stuff. I don't care if it's important or trivial.
Right.
There's one thing in there that's important, and then the other 5 things I did were trivial. And you know, that's
no problem.
That's kind of where we are until we get to a certain point. Then once we get to that point, then it should be triage based on strictly importance.
I agree.
But you just need to get to that point. And on my stuff, I'm getting close.
Yeah, but even still, we may have 2 or 3 items we say aren't important enough to go work on. Why go hack into that piece of the code and get up to speed on it? These aren't worth fixing at this time. Now you get a bug in that chunk of code, like you say, form. This thing has to be fixed. You grab that other stuff with it, and that's the driver that says, go fix all this stuff while you're in there. And that's still going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I just see that's the logic we're using now as well. What we don't want to do is just take something, well, this is easy, it's sort of off tangent from anything else, I'm going to go work on it. That we don't want to do. Okay, so we'll stay with this version sequence. This one's the public, and then this next one here is going to be the one that comes after 27. I'll go ahead and create a task for that as well as an epic.
Okay, I think this is something I'd like to talk about a little bit more, and I don't necessarily want to talk about it today. Why is GAP MVP and GAP...
Yeah, MVP should probably come out of
my experience is that we are not large enough to issue a beta. That our really true beta is our customer release.
GAP 27 is kind of like a free version that gets initial feedback for people that are willing to use it and would like to use it. It's getting... I can't really say.
So let's put it this way then.
Here's my argument that's going to seem counterintuitive. you would get more engagement if you charge money for it than you are if you're going to give it for free. You won't get the feedback if you give it for free.
Or the correct feedback, I would guess.
Okay.
Well, I don't think you can get any feedback. That's I mean,
Let's have this discussion tomorrow.
okay. But I mean, but from a programming point of view, I don't see them as being different.
Yeah, so I will not create that gap pound.
That is true. The Gap 27 and your pound are very, very similar.
Yeah, so I won't
Really,
create
there
that
is really
one.
no difference. There's no difference for
And
those.
at this
besides
point,
a couple
at this
bugs maybe.
point, we can choose to put tasks in either 7, 27, or 8. And we can rename this one,
Which 8 you said?
yeah, which is future.
Oh, future. Okay.
Out in the
Okay.
future.
Yep.
And we can rename this one at any time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that could just be minimum viable product.
Yeah, and I can take beta off of there. I think it's still on the.
So
actual
where is
task.
Where is my Gap 23 right now? Is that in Gap 7 or is that Gap
Yeah.
20?
So Gap 7's a mess, and that needs moved around. There's a bunch of tasks in there that need adjusted.
Which we'll do by tomorrow. for
Okay.
Okay,
tasks
so
for
do I
big-
need to do anything, or are you and Mitch going to do that?
We'll take care of that
I
cleanup.
think with Gap 23, there's a lot of, because it is a larger bug list, there could be things that apply multiple times.
Do I want to do it? So then I
You
go
may-
back
you may
to,
wanna- you may
do I
wanna
want to just close 23, take the open stuff out, and put the open stuff somewhere else?
Yeah, you may want to close down 23 and then create an issue in
What?
Gap 7 and Gap 27 if you do have issues that need to go to both directions.
Okay, I'm fine with that. We got Max bug linking to the payment server. I think that I should just take that out here. He can list his own bug. I mean, he knows
Right.
what it is.
Right.
And then, can you scroll down, Ed or Mitch, who's ever controlling? I got this forms bug, which I'm I'll finish today, and then I've got some report bugs, and that's it. Of the report bugs, I would argue that the report bugs are so simple. I'm just going to do them. I mean, they're not.
I got a question for you on reports. I couldn't get any reports to come out last night or this morning. Whatever I did, whenever I clicked report, I was getting loading.
Okay.
So I may need to give you some more input.
When did you try today? Did you try after I deployed or before I
Yeah,
deployed?
after.
Okay, I'll verify that as well, Mitch, and if it is, I can create a bug on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so on 23, Clay, you decide what you want to leave in 23 and work to its closure, and which items you want to go create a separate bug or task improvement, whatever, for, and they come out of this 23 then. And that way your 23 can be closed out, the big list.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
So I'll take care of 23.
Yeah, so the only other thing we have that I want to get through today, and we do have a 2 o'clock coming up in 15 minutes. So we got this, the high bandwidth thing.
Yeah, is that a problem, Clay?
No.
10 megabytes is totally fine?
Let me put it to you this way. It's something that we need to look at later. First, this brings a lot of questions. Did you have was this when you were loading the page? It was downloading images.
No, it was just filling out the authoring. Had about 40 questions or so, lots of visibility linkage and stuff like that, but nothing really out of normal.
Well, 10 megs is kind of high, but I think we just need to understand it better. And the other thing is when we deploy Webpack, we can bundle Get Webpack differently. So, I mean, it's just stuff I don't want to... I'm glad you captured this. and you want to stuff it somewhere so we go back and look at it, I just don't think now is the time.
Yeah, we'll make a future task, Mitch, put it in 8, Epic 8, to do some performance testing. Or,
I mean,
get some
we could
performance
have
data.
20 to 50 users and we'd still be okay. But this is indicative. This could indicate a problem if we don't get it fixed once we get volume.
Okay. So new task, I think we only need to look at the ones created today and maybe late yesterday. What am I sorted by? Sort the other way. Come on, adjust in size. Okay. Gap 34, completed assessment certification signature. That's an item we talked about yesterday. Is that something what Epic is that going to go into?
Okay, so I forgot. So we've decided, and I'm fine with this, we've decided we're going to put each task as its own, each item as its own task.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. So is this something for this next, the one I'm calling the private, the common
Absolutely.
PO one?
No, I would argue they would want it. I know the PO would want it.
Okay.
I don't think it's important. I would put that in 20.
And that may not even get the minimum viable. That may even be after that, right? Is an option to turn that on and off for minimum viable? That may even be later. Either way, let's just move it to minimum viable for now, and we can move
Yeah,
it.
We can always move it out.
Move it to 20. Yeah, move it to 27. But at 7, it's fine.
Okay. Report wording, choose assessment instead of just that word assessment. That's put into that one.
You put that 7. That's going to take less time to fix and to talk about it.
Yep. 33 is 7, and both of those are Clay. 24. Oh, that's
business
that's
management.
business stuff. Yeah. 32. The start assessment button.
Mm-hmm.
I got that in for the PT version.
Okay, can we look at that one?
What is? Yeah, I'm not familiar with what that one is.
No, I know what it is. It's just the location is what threw me. Location of scheduled start assessment.
Well, right now you got to go into author and do a schedule.
Right, and you're going to go, okay, so, all right, got it.
So is
I'll fill
this add start button to the assessment screen?
Mhm. I got it. We're good. Just the word location confused me, but now I got it.
Okay, back, get me there. So that's 24. Where the hell am I? 32. No, that was 32. 32 is in 7, and that's Clay. 31. This is one that I thought of today in thinking about the intuitiveness of the program. And I also have, I'm logged out here. No, here it is.
Yeah, I think we're going to disagree strongly.
So here, if I go in and I add a new question, how many people? And I press enter. Now I scroll down here to fill it out. I do my stuff, I fill it out. Now I want to add a new question, so I scroll to the top. And I add a question.
By moving it to the bottom, it would also solve the where's my save button. You see the next one is add a new question. You click that, so it solves that problem as well.
So my take on this is we presented it to you. Let's triage this one tomorrow. Gives you some time to think about it.
Ed, one downside about this one though is it's going to look really weird when you only have 2 or 3 rows. Like let's say you had one section, it's going to be above it, and it's just going to be they're going to be staggered off a little bit and things like that.
How many? Enter. And of course, with my screen being smaller anyhow, it's a problem. But yeah, what I'm thinking is you get down here and instead of going up over these other questions, let's add another question.
It makes it feel like it's the next step, that's for sure.
So anyhow, it just doesn't feel intuitive to me yet, and it's something to wrestle with. So let's wrestle with it and not triage this one right now today. Okay, so that was 30. That was 31. 30 is being able to resequence questions. It's like, oh wait, I want to ask this other question first, and I don't see this. I see this as a future.
Yeah, that's. I actually have code in to do that. That's actually trickier than it seems. Let's put that in 20. Probably future, actually.
Yeah, Max did some stuff. I don't know if this will help, but he did some stuff with trees and being able to move stuff up and down a tree and levels in and stuff. So
yeah. Okay, I've got code to do this. It's just going to take a while to implement.
Yeah.
And it depends on how you want to do it. So the code that I have allows for drag and drop. If you don't want to do drag and
drop's fine, but I'll say put it in 8. Future stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it stays unassigned. And that was 38.
Yeah, the big problem with that one is like if you have like 40 questions that are with visibility and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, I need to expand on that one. You can't. You got to go and delete 15 questions and then add to it. It's a problem, but
yeah,
it's definitely more work to do it.
29.
What happens when you drag and drop when you've got visibility is it's going to fire all these dialog boxes. It's complicated.
Yeah, so I understand.
Another purpose for the tutorial is to say, get all your questions in, reorder them, and then put visibility in. Do visibility last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
29. You were saying this needs to be done before the public release. That works.
Maybe not even that. Maybe for the public release, it's totally fine. It's not that big of a job to do. We just need one of us, whoever has the best voice, to record a thing.
Or hire somebody. Those are the 2 epics. 26. Figure out the names of the 2 level plans. Okay, we already talked about that one yesterday.
And I put that one as minimum viable product. Would you agree with that? That doesn't selecting the plan, gold versus silver or ravine and canyon. Choosing the name, that's minimum viable product, I imagine, not CompTIA.
Correct.
I would like to have something consistent in the application, though. Not canyon, ravine one place, gold, silver the other.
But yeah, no. That was only done because I didn't want to screw up Max's software.
Right, I understand. Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, I suspect Pia will have input on that. I don't know that we're going to agree with her input, but I bet she will. No matter what we pick.
Yeah. First time usage tips, 27 or 8?
It probably depends because I think some of these are going to be easier to implement than others.
You said it was pretty quick to do, right? For some of them.
I think it depends on which one you're doing.
This is going to sound, okay, I'm not going to speak to Tom, I'm going to speak to Pia. I'm actually thinking it would be better. I'd almost like just see what her impression is without them to help, maybe tell her they're coming. But like just, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say
we also still have Cheryl to go through and test this.
Well, for sure. Okay.
She's seen too much, though.
Mm-hmm.
She's already seen too much. I'll say 27.
I'm just saying I had some problems when I.
Okay,
no, I don't.
But of all of us, P has been doing audits for 25 years.
True.
So that's going to be helpful to us, and it's also going to be unhelpful to us.
Yeah, yeah. Oops, that's 25. Okay, and we know 24 and 23 by heart, and I almost got through the list of items that were in 24. The remainders will be in tomorrow when we'll hit them then.
Okay.
Okay, back.
Got a meeting in 4 minutes, Ed.
Yep, I'm watching it. And so we all got work to do and we're all hustling, so there's no point going over the daily commitments at this point.
Okay. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Bye now.
All right, bye.
Your next meeting is Chemsco, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have to be in on that, do I?
Nah. Probably could have cut you loose on this one,
Well,
but
that's all I can see.
I was so busy I didn't think
I
about it.
mean, I like hearing all of it.
Yeah.
Anybody else bought that Chemsco stuff? Or, you know,
Did anybody else what?
has anybody else signed up for Chemsco or?
Yeah, we'll find out today, I guess.
Oh, I gotta stop my recording. Matt.